Hello, in this video I would like to touch on 3 items that may come up when you are preparing for the final. One of them, I'd like to thank Nicole for pointing out, I added to the balance sheet kind of a catch-all line here, other non-current assets, and then another one, other non-current liabilities. I did not add to those ratios down there. So what I'm going to do is paste one and say as percent of, and we could make that anything, but let's make it as a percentage of sales so that we're all on the same page. And then the other one would be the other non-current liabilities. And I think as we were doing payables as COGS, we'll do, since current liabilities are a percent of sales, let's just go ahead and do those as a percent of sales. And I hadn't really made those available for you, so we'll do that. Copy that down. That was one item that I wanted to talk about. Another one is it comes up when you download EDGAR data. And so I'm going to go out to EDGAR and search for Devon, because I was looking at maybe using Devon for the energy section, but an item came up that made me a little bit uncomfortable using it without giving you a heads up. So for both the energy final and the section 902 final, this little issue that I'm about to show you is something that may be fair game. With my other final, I limited myself. I didn't feel like I had sufficiently shown section 901 that they could come in here and do this. So some of the companies I wanted to choose, I didn't get to. I was real big in the practice videos about, you're going to download your statement, whatever it may be. It's going to have your labels and then 3 columns of other data. But notice with Devon, they've got their footnotes in this EDGAR spreadsheet. And so let's say we did Devon and we needed our cash and we need our balance sheets and we needed our income statement. I'll hit pause and find that. Oh, of course, it's just comprehensive earnings, they called it. Starts with some revenues and gets us down to net earnings. So I was missing that. So let's move these into a separate file by right-clicking and creating a copy in a new file. And as I was saying, these have some extra columns in them. There's a footnote here, and there's some footnotes here, and so forth. So fair game, if I were to choose a company who has that, just come in, find that that entire column can just be deleted with a control minus, or deleted with a right click and delete that entire column. And so I don't want to limit myself on which company I can surprise you with the on the exam. So keep that in mind, that you may have to clean that up to get to your 4 columns of data. And then another one that came up was Concho. Let me go grab Concho. When I download Concho, it's not an issue of extra columns, I don't believe. I think it's an issue of units. Most of these we're used to seeing are in the millions, but let's look at how Concho reported their numbers. They have balance sheets. I believe that's statement of operations. They call their income statement. And then cash. And so when I move those out to another file and look at them more closely, look at all the zeros here. If I look at the income statement, it's actually in dollars. Look at that USD. And so these are some really big numbers, $4.5 billion. But when I look at the balance sheet, it's in millions. So 70 million, even that doesn't look right. Oh, in cash, I guess. So we get down to the total assets, $24 billion. So I'm going to have to do something with this. Let me put these on the originals tab. I'll hit pause. Okay, I just copied income statement and then pasted in the balance sheet and the cash flow. So now I've got the cash flow here in US dollars. But my balance sheet, as I said a minute ago, is in millions of US dollars, and the income statement is not. So we've got to get these in the same units. I want to talk about a couple of tricks here. One way to do this is to type 1,000 and then copy that. And I'm going to do the top 3 rows to show you how this works. I'm going to do an Alt-ES, or however you get to paste special. Then I'm going to say divide. So we're going to divide these numbers by $1,000. Not transpose them, divide them. And so notice that they got smaller by 3 figures, which is what we wanted. Unfortunately, that blank line, if I hit undo, notice that the middle line was blank, but when I hit redo, it gave us a 0. So I need to find a way around that. Also, notice that when I hit undo, the third line didn't have dollar signs on it. And I kind of liked that number formatting, but when I applied this with a paste special divide, it applied that number formatting to these as well. So let's talk about a trick to get around this. So I'm going to copy the top, oops, I'm going to move them. I'm going to copy the top 3 lines and paste them right here. I'll do an Alt-Hoi so that I can see the numbers. And I want to put $1,000 in each one, actually $1 million is what I need to be using. I want to put $1 million in each one of these cells except for the blank. So I'm going to do a find and replace, which for me is Control H. Don't know what it is on a Mac, but Control H will let me find anything using an asterisk and replace it with 1,000. And watch what happens. So now I've replaced all the numbers with 1,000. But I've maintained that number formatting. So the top row has dollar signs, the next row does not. So now if I copy, come over here and do an Alt-ES, I can do the I for divide, and watch what happens. It ignores the blank rows. I didn't even need to select this skip blanks over here. It ignored them anyway, because there was nothing to divide by. And since I did the divide, it divided the numbers by, I said $1 million. Went ahead and did 1,000, so I'm going to do it again. I'm going to say copy, Alt-ESI. And now I've converted the US dollars to millions. So I'm going to do the same thing for the rest of this. Now obviously I don't want to do the per share numbers, so I'll come down here, say copy, paste, Control H. This time I'll put on the extra 3 zeros that I need. Alt-A for all. And it replaced them all with $1 million. So I can copy, Alt-ES, I for divide, and I've changed those numbers without affecting the number formatting. So if I give you a company, I don't want to limit myself to companies who reported all 3 sheets with the same units. If I give you a company that gives you some in millions and some in thousands and some in US dollars, then you know how to fix it now. Again, Control H, find and replace all, copy, Alt-ESI, and so on. So I would want to come and do that, not for the balance sheet because it was already in millions, but I would want to come and do that for the cash flow statement. You can turn off this video anytime you like, but I'm going to go ahead and do this for those who want to watch the last piece. Oh, definitely take the time to make sure we're not looking at any other per share values there. Control H, Alt-A, OK, escape, copy, Alt-ESI. Thanks for watching, and now you will be comfortable not only deleting columns that have footnotes in them and spread this stuff out, but also converting things to millions if necessary. Thanks. Bye.